Hi guys! Welcome to today's video, I hope. I'm not sure if I'll be able to get this up in time, but I thought I might do a New Year's Eve look for those of you who might be going out on New Year's Eve. I myself will not, so I will be alone watching movies, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you have a special someone, if you have plans in any way, I don't know, maybe you want to have fun, or maybe for me, I just need to do kind of a dramatic look. So if you're hooded and you want to play with makeup, that's all you need to know. I'm watching these birds, like, what are you guys doing? Let's start with Verushka. This is from Charlotte Tilbury, and it is a beautiful gray color, and I love a gray. It might be a birdie situation. I haven't done anything to my lids, and this dries pretty fast, so I'm going to smoke it with my finger. Just smudge it out a little bit. So it's not too hard. Other side. I think if you have a partner or a husband, it can be a very romantic evening just with you. And you could get yourself maybe a little champagne, a little caviar, a little creme fraiche, and dress up a little bit maybe. And then later on put on your jammies and watch some movies. And now I'm just going to get this in between my lashes. So I'm doing the tight line or waterline. I always forget which one it's called. I'm just going to get that through to make the lashes look quite thick. And build this eye as we go along. So I always think after I do something like this, and this is all that I do, that my eyes look incredibly round and small. So now it's time to go in and give some definition, some shadow. And for that I'm using this color. It's called Flint, and this is from Bobbi Brown. The kind of brush I would like to use would be a round ferrule with a lot of density. This has the density I'm looking for, but I may not have the brush that I want. And this is a little too small and not incredibly dense. But we'll start with that for laying it down. Opening the eyes. So the idea is I'm giving myself some shape, so I have to see it when the eyes are open. And now just lift it up a little bit. Kind of a wingy situation. And the other side. I have to say, Bobbi Brown has some very nice kind of neutral shadows that you can get in singles. They're expensive, but they're big. And one of my favorites has always been Taupe. And again, I'm just going to bring it out a little bit. And now I'm going to blend with a bigger brush. Very softly, because I haven't decided if I'm going to pull all this color down or if I'm kind of going for like a double line situation. It's hard to do with my shape, where it would be a line up here and a line down here. Recently I have been looking at vintage photos. And gosh, it sounds so strange to say they're vintage. They're not really vintage, but they're from a long time ago. And I was looking at women who were icons for their time, like Candice Bergen and Barbra Streisand. And there was a very different way of doing makeup in those days, but it was simple in that I don't think there was contouring, like 1,500 steps going on, but the eyes were definitely the star of the show, and neither of them have perfect eyes, the kind of eyes you see people do tutorials on. Candice Bergen is definitely hooded, and so is Barbra Streisand. And Streisand has a round eye, so she really worked quite hard to pull everything out, even though there was a roundness going on. And I had read years ago that a makeup artist told her what she needed to do, and she did it herself. Like, she did her own makeup. I'm sure as time went on, I'm thinking about the movie Funny Girl, because I think that was the movie where this makeup artist was saying he saw in the close-ups that she was doing exactly what he told her to do. I'm sure as time went on, she wasn't doing her own makeup. Okay, because I'm having a little clumping over here at the where my wrinkles are forming, but I didn't prime my eyes at all. If it looks different, it's because I opened up my lens a little bit, because I felt like it was getting darker and darker as we went on. I don't know. As I said, we're going to build this, and it's a slow build. It's not going to be, I'm finished with this, I'm going to do something else. I'm not finished with this, but I am going to go on back to the pencil, the Verushka, and I'm going to do some work underneath here, which is something I usually do not do. But the idea is New Year's makeup, which will be a little bit more dramatic. One of the things they were doing in these old shots was they had a separate line for under the eye and then for over the eyes. So it was kind of Egyptian looking, but it wasn't big looking, where one liner went up like this and the other one went up like this, and there was a little space between them. And I tried to do that to see, maybe that would be a video. But alas, for me, I'm so hooded right here that I couldn't draw over that. I'm going to go in with this and smudge. I think, yeah, I'm going to go back with Flint with this brush, which could be a problem. So really light hand, because I feel that this brush is a little too big. Now, at this point, I start to think I look raccoony. My eyes look very, very small. It's time to make my brows a teeny bit larger than they are. So I'm going to start a little bit lower than they are. And just to shadow and bring them a teeny bit higher than they are. Now, of course, I'm not going to do too much here, because that's never a great look when you're just adding a dark area to blank skin. But I find that if you make the brow a little bit larger, it offsets the darkness, that black eye look kind of thing that I'm getting on this eye. And just brush it through for some softness. I'm going to go back into this palette that I made. This is Antique Rose, and same brush, and it's very close to a skin-like color for me. So I'm using it more as to blend out everything. And more blending under the eye, just because how this blends, what this looks like, kind of shapes the eye a little bit. And this look right now, I feel, is quite soft. You could make it a little bit less than soft by doing more of a hard liner right here. Or you could put some sparkle on I think I might do some sparkle, but before I do, I'm just going to go in with some mascara. But I'm going to use it a little differently than I normally do. I usually do not do my lower lashes. I don't like that kind of spidery look where when you look at someone's makeup, all you see are the lower lashes and the upper lashes, and it just kind of looks a little bit like Clockwork Orange. But this time, I'd say it's an opportunity to do things that I usually don't do. And as with everything else I'm doing today, just build. So I did my first bit under the eyes, and now I'm moving the wand to vertical position and adding some more. There. I feel like just doing this mascara has kind of brought me into an evening look. So this is the conundrum I am left with. I feel I've managed to stretch the eyes out a little bit. Great. I feel this darkness here needs a little bit of something, so I'm not looking like Saint Bernard. I'm going to go back in with Veruschka and kind of make a little bit more of a dramatic eye with my, just a triangle up here, right? Aha! It's not a good look when you have your eyes blinking, but it just kind of, see how droopy over here it is? This helps that droopiness. Okay, I have gotten my Natasha Denona Glam palette, which I think is a perfect companion for whatever it is I'm doing here, because I've got to do something about this. I'm going to go in with this small blender and lash line. So this is the darkest thing I think in here. It looks like a cool brown, dark brown. Not bad. Seems more charcoaly, and it's going with this Veruschka pretty well. And I'm going to use this to blend out this liner a little bit. You guys, like everyone in my neighborhood has chickens now. It's crazy. And one of them has no idea what time it is. So the one across the street is always crowing in the middle of the day. I don't know if you can hear it. And a couple of weeks ago, my neighbor and I were taking Lucy out for a walk. And we do different routes, you know, different streets. And we're walking and talking. And all of a sudden I see something moving. What the fuck? And it was like a big stuffed animal. I had no idea chickens were that big. And I'm like, what? Now my neighbor is from originally Minnesota, and her grandmother had a farm, so she's been around chickens. Me, not so much. I saw a chicken in real life the first time from another neighbor who's like, oh, let me show you my chicken, and let me peek in. And it was just a single chicken. It was quite red and really quite beautiful, but in the coop. And we're just walking down the street, and oh, hi, there's a chicken in the street. It was weird. Also weird was the fact that Lucy, she didn't care. Now, Lucy is a beagle, and beagles, hi baby, they're hunters, but they're scent hounds, you know what I mean? They're not sight hounds. And it's possible Lucy just didn't know what the scent of a chicken is. I don't know. I mean, they're for rabbits. They flush out rabbits. They're kind of like, if you think about it, they're kind of like Labradors. Like Labradors flush ducks out of bushes. Beagles flush rabbits. Because they don't have a killer instinct, really. Now we're getting somewhere, right? And just more and more and more blending. Maha! Now we are working on a dark, dark eye. Now I got some down here and I'm not in love with it because it's pulling everything down, but I kind of like it. I'm going to bring some down here. You can always go over with concealer if it's not floating your boat. I'm just kind of pressing on these outside lines of that liner so it's not so hard looking. So I guess it's more of a slept in kind of smoky look. Yeah. Whatever concealer I had from earlier. There we go. Okay, that I would probably just spend a little more time blending this out, and I kind of enjoy that. But I know a lot of people would prefer to put a little sparkle around here somewhere. So let's go ahead and do that. First of all, a good thing to do if you are older and have a lot of stuff going on like me is lighten up right through here. And there's a lot of shades to choose from in this palette. I think I'm going to go with this one. It adds a little bit of brightness, but it's not too sparkly. This is just a little something something. Makes it, I like. Doesn't make me look so dead. And then kind of a topper coat. So this is the Huda Gold Special Edition for Cult Beauty that I thought was so beautiful. I actually shot a video of this, but I haven't edited it. Let me know if you're interested, and I will edit it. But it was difficult. It wasn't what I was hoping it would be. It doesn't mean that there's not a place for a palette like this, and this is exactly the place. So not using it as a palette in and of itself, but for adding a little something to something else. And the added benefit is, look how pretty that is. This adds a little bit of warmth to an eye that could get too cool. Okay, we're getting closer, you guys. I know for most people would want to do a nude blush and a nude lip with this. I'm going to go for a nude blush for sure. I'm going to do this one by Patrick Tosh. She's so LA. But as far as a nude lip, I find that I feel nude lips make me look dead. Okay, I'm going to say two things. One, the sweater is probably killing the look. I'm going to go change into something black, and then we'll see what we're going to do with the lip. All right, you guys. Fever Dream from Pat McGrath on my lips. I just feel, for me personally, I don't like a nude lip, especially, yeah, no, not for a look like this. I know people say don't do a big eye and a big lip. I think for some people it works. I think for me it works, and that is what I'm doing. And yeah, I don't know what else I'm doing. I really feel like I'm kind of channeling Mark Bolan, but you know what? I'm totally okay with this. If I had a special someone, I would be doing the caviar, the creme fraiche, a little champagne, and some water wafers, and watching movies, and being dressed up like this. And I guess that's what it's about. Let us kiss goodbye, 2020. It was not a fun one. 2021 is going to be hard, you guys. Don't lie to yourself. It's going to be hard. But there's an end in sight, and there is the idea of normalcy. It will come. It will come. And that's it. Thank you so much for spending a few minutes with me. My God, I have no idea how this is going to edit together, but I certainly hope I might have at least shown you something and maybe entertained you, and maybe just kind of, you know, take a little toke and watch one of my videos. I'm sure they'll be really interesting that way. Happy New Year.